ठीक है, चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट। टेक वन। ओके, तो हाय, गुड मॉर्निंग, दिस इज सौरभ एंड टुडे आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट माय पर्सनल ब्रांड। अगर मेरे लाइफ स्टोरी से कुछ लोग और सीख सकते हैं, कुछ लोग आगे जा सकते हैं, तो आई वुड लव टू डू दैट आल्सो। टेक टू। हाय, माय नेम इज सौरभ एंड टुडे आई विल टॉक टू यू अबाउट माय पर्सनल ब्रांड एंड व्हाई दिस वीडियो। पैसे चाहिए, ज्ञान चाहिए, कनेक्शन चाहिए, नेटवर्क चाहिए, आइडिया चाहिए, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग चाहिए, एग्नी आंट चाहिए, तुम्हें बताओ क्या चाहिए। आई वांट टू बी एबल टू डू ऑल ऑफ दैट। In fact, this is probably the first video podcast, solo cast, whatever you want to call it, that I will release. I want to talk to people who are in probably 15, 16, 17 to about 25, 26. Hi, my name is Saurabh, and today I will talk to you about my personal brand and why this video and why hopefully you will see a flurry of content from my side going on the internet. Let's see how that pans out. So first things first, what is a brand? And now that I'm a communication expert with 20 years of experience, I'm supposed to know the right answer for what is a brand, and I will try to make that answer here. And if any of you has any reservations against it, please come back and tell me that answer is not correct. A brand is sum total of all the perceptions, all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the beliefs, all the opinions that other people make about you when they hear about you. So, for example, if I say the word Mercedes, you, the listener, would have a certain perspective about Mercedes. You could think of the car, you could think of the luxury, you could think of snob, but that is the brand in the head of you as an individual. Now, great brands are the ones wherein this perception is coherent and consistent across multiple people. Like, for example, if I say Tata, most people will probably say trust as a component to Tata, and that trust would come in from multiple people. So Tata has done a great job of establishing themselves as a great brand of trust. That is where the brand is, in my opinion. That was the definition of brand from my perspective. Now, when it comes to an individual personal brand, this is where the challenges start becoming so difficult. In the sense that today, Steve Jobs is remembered for something. When he was alive back in the day, he was known for something, remembered and known. Virat Kohli doesn't play cricket anymore. I mean, I don't know if he plays or not. I didn't follow Virat Kohli, but he is known for something. So there is a brand that has happened for Virat Kohli. Now, these are super large examples wherein they've been seen on large stages by the entire world. So there is some coherence because their public personas are very, very well crafted. Their content is extremely, extremely well designed, and they have been trained to speak a certain language so that there is a certain conversation that flows when they talk to each other. However, when it comes to an individual, if you look at I would want to talk about, say, a gentleman called Karthik Srinivasan, Beast of Troll करके उनका हैंडल है, इंस्टा पे, ट्विटर पे, हर जगह पे वो है. So what he I don't even remember what he started with. Probably he was a PR person, probably he was a marketing person. I don't remember what he was. But today he's known as a communications consultant, and I follow him to get insights and nuggets onto the world of branding, communication, marketing, and allied things. तो मेरे दिमाग में क्या है ना, उनका ब्रांड बन गया है कि वो कम्युनिकेशन मार्केटिंग के इंसान है. दैट इज वन. Two, what he's also done very, very loudly in every content piece that he puts out, he says that my words are not for sale. और मैंने ना ये line use करनी शुरू कर दी है अपने लिए भी. So now that's part of the word, that's part of the brand as well. That his words are not for sale. He will give opinion, he will give rants, he will diss a brand, he will talk favorably about a brand, but it will not be for sale. So what that does is it tells me subtly on a second layer that he is honest, he is authentic, his opinion is valid, his opinion is not colored or not bought. So what happens is that now Karthik's brand has multiple layers to A, what does he stand for? B, who is he as a person? And C, now I have a decision to make. Do I want to associate myself with Karthik or not? And that is when my answer could be. Now, translating this into brand for Saurabh. Okay, wait, before Saurabh, Karthik की बात करते हैं. Now, Karthik का brand क्या है? What does he want to stand for? So he probably in his head knows very clearly that he wants to stand for marketing and communication. He wants to talk to people who are in the marketing and communication space. He wants to probably use this to build a business for himself. So there is an objective of the brand. Then he's done some things to meet that objective. And what he's done is what we see. So there are like layers to this brand piece, right? Now, मेरे केस में the top of the brand piece is मेरे को किससे बात करनी है और क्यों बात करनी है. This is where I have a little khichdi in my head and I want to clear the khichdi by doing this podcast and by hoping that more people see it and then they react to me and tell me what I could stand for. In fact, this is probably the first video podcast, solo cast, whatever you want to call it, that I will release so that I can get inputs from other people before I commit 100% to this one particular trait. So, okay, who do I want to talk to? Now, as an individual, I am probably not probably, I'm an aspiring polymath. Now, what does it mean? I am somebody who wants to be good at multiple things. I want to be a king of all trades, not jack of all trades, not tiny trades. I want to be king of all trades. I want to be good at multiple things. मतलब ट्रैवल में, किताबें लिखने में, बच्चों को मेंटर करने में, स्टार्टअप करने में, पैसा कमाने में, फिल्में बनाने में. मतलब देयर आर लाइक 1000 थिंग्स दैट आई वांट टू बी गुड एट. एंड ऑब्वियसली मतलब मैं तो एक इंसान हूँ और मैं उम्र दराज हो गया हूँ थोड़ा सा, तो थोड़ा मुश्किल है प्रैक्टिकली. बट क्यों कोशिश क्यों नहीं कर सकते? मतलब व्हाई कांट आई हैव पीपल कोलैबोरेटर्स अराउंड मी हु इनेबल मी टू बिकम बेटर एट दोस थिंग्स. तो पहली चीज ये कि मेरे को किससे बात करनी है. तो मेरे को बात करनी है उन सब लोगों से जो मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं. मुझे उनसे क्यों बात करनी है? आई एम अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल ह्यूमन बीइंग. दो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं. ऑब्जेक्टिव ए, आई वांट टू फाइंड कोलैबोरेटर्स हु अलाउ मी टू डू ऑल द एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. ऑब्जेक्टिव बी, अगर मेरे लाइफ स्टोरी से कुछ लोग और सीख सकते हैं, कुछ लोग आगे जा सकते हैं, तो आई वुड लव टू डू दैट आल्सो. लाइक आई हैव दिस थिंग कॉल्ड स्टैंडिंग ऑन द शोल्डर्स ऑफ जाइंट्स. मतलब मेरे जीवन में जो भी मेरे पास है वो सब इसलिए है बिकॉज बाकी लोगों ने मेरे ऊपर बिना किसी एक्सपेक्टेशन के मेरे ऊपर बहुत सारे एहसान किए. एंड उन एहसानों के मैं तले नहीं दबाऊं, उन एहसानों के ऊपर खड़ा हूं. एंड व्हाट दैट नाउ मीन्स इज दैट अब मेरा हक बनता है, मेरा मेरा धर्म कर्म व्हाटएवर इट इज, टू पे इट फॉरवर्ड. आई वांट टू बी एबल टू गिव माय शोल्डर टू एज मेनी पीपल एज पॉसिबल. So two objectives. A, I am a selfish man and I want to be able to find collaborators that allow me to do more. And B, I want to be able to solve, I want to be able to inspire other people to do more and I want to enable them with whatever I can. पैसे चाहिए, ज्ञान चाहिए, कनेक्शन चाहिए, नेटवर्क चाहिए, आइडिया चाहिए, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग चाहिए, एग्नी आंट चाहिए, तुम्हें बताओ क्या चाहिए. I want to be able to do all of that. Now, obviously, सुपर ह्यूमन कैपेबिलिटी चाहिए होगी उसके लिए और मैं तो बिल्कुल ही आम इंसान हूँ. मेरे को किन लोगों से बात करनी है? मेरे को कोलैबोरेटर से बात करनी है. मेरे को उन लोगों से बात करनी है जिनको मैं इंस्पायर कर सकता हूँ, which is primarily young people. I don't want to ever inspire somebody who's in my age cohort, somebody older than me, somebody younger than me. जो younger than me है उनसे मुझे बात करनी है. And I want to talk to people who are in probably 15, 16, 17 to about 25, 26 because that is a time when you actually build your life decisions. Like that's when you decide where you want to be, what you want to be doing, how you want to be doing, and all that. So this is who I want to talk to. Now, what do I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to people about all the things that I mentioned: travel, books, investing, writing, filmmaking, startups, entrepreneurship, human insight, cultural insight, communication, marketing, inspiration. मतलब मेरे पास, if I were to use hashtags, I would have like a million hashtags. And this is where the problem starts. And this is where I want you people to come in and help me with ideas and thoughts. Now, typically brands are made for one thing, probably two, at best three. So if I say Virat Kohli, what is the first thing that comes to your head? Probably Anushka Sharma, probably cricket, probably fitness, probably Delhi Kalonda, and so on and so forth. If I say Shah Rukh Khan, what does come to you? You probably will find King Khan, gentleman, grace. These are the words that you will probably come up with. If I say Karthik Srinivasan, it was easy for you to come back to me and say Karthik is marketing, communication, words not for sale, etc. etc. So हर इंसान का जो ब्रांड का जो हैशटैग्स है ना, वो दो तीन ही है. बट मेरे केस में आई वांट लाइक 100 hashtags and that is where the problem starts and that is where the problem ends. In fact, every person I talk to, when I tell them कि मुझे ब्रांड पे इतनी सारी बातें करनी है, तो often they come back and say, यार तू तो पढ़ा लिखा आदमी है, तूने 20 साल से ब्रांड बनाए हैं, इतने ब्रांड्स पे काम किया है, how is it that you are so all over the place when it comes to your own brand? In fact, कल मेरे को किसी ने मेरे को फीडबैक दिया, एक फ्रेंड ने, I'll not take his name here. He said कि तू मतलब तू, you are yet another person that talks about a lot of things on the internet. Nobody cares and nobody gets to go deep with you. I mean, why would somebody care for who you are and what you talk about? Because, and then he said something that, कल को कोई तू मर जाएगा ना, तो ट्विटर पे 4-5 लोग लिखेंगे RIP and then they will be out and that's pretty much about it. And I was like, fuck, ये तो सही बोल रहा है लड़का कि RIP लिख के कोई भाग जाएगा, फिर मैं क्या करूंगा? मतलब not that I will be around, but that is what it will amount to कि 4 लोग लिखेंगे RIP दो लोग बोलेंगे बहुत हेल्पफुल था, एक आदमी बोलेगा मेरा जीवन टूट गया है, एंड देन दे विल मूव ऑन इन द नेक्स्ट 30 seconds. You will see them sharing a funny reel after that, after writing RIP Saurabh. So all these are great eye openers that I got uh, 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 from people. I want to be able to find more such inputs, and I want to be able to establish and structure how I want to talk about it. So in my head, I said that could there be a overarching thought for all these things? The overarching thought could be a human guinea pig. Overarching thought could be aspiring polymath, what I talked about. Overarching thought could be eternal optimist. Like one of the things that I stand for is optimism. Like I believe कि कल अच्छा ही होगा, आज अगर एक्स था तो कल एक्स से बेहतर ही होगा। मतलब मुझे लगता है कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है। और मैं अम, इतना ऑप्टिमिस्ट हूँ कि लोग मुझे टॉक्सिकली पॉजिटिव बोलते हैं। तो लोग मुझे बोलते हैं कि ये वो अंकल है जो हर बात के ऊपर चूरन देता रहता है कि अच्छा ही होगा, कोई बात नहीं, खुदा हो गया तो क्या हो गया, देख लेंगे। सो आई एम अ टॉक्सिकली पॉजिटिव पर्सन, एंड ऑफन आई हैव टू चेक व्हेन आई टॉक टू पीपल कि भाई मैं तेरे को भी ज्ञान देने वाला हूँ, आर यू ओके टू टेक ज्ञान। मेरे पास ये सारी चीजें करने को है। इन सारी चीजों में मेरे को ओवरआर्चिंग थीम्स ढूंढनी है। दो तीन थीम्स मेरे दिमाग में क्लियर है। थीम्स आर दैट somebody who tries a lot of things, which is uh, uh, which goes towards the polymath piece. Somebody second theme could be eternal optimist something, and in fact I try to build a podcast called the Optimist Manifesto, but उसमें मैं काम नहीं कर पाया, शायद करूंगा। Third thing could be, third thing is what Tim Ferriss used to say long ago. He would say that he's a human guinea pig. And what that means is that he would do whatever experiments humans are capable of doing. He will do all of those. And then he will try to find his, what do you call it, uh, thing that he wants to stand for. So these are the two, three themes. Or the last theme could be that, Saurabh Bhaiya for all the young people. Think of it as that elder, think of me as that elder brotherly figure that young people can come back to and say कि यार मेरे को लाइफ में ना ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई है, can you help me, support me, give me ideas and talk about that. Now do I want to be a bhaiya? Probably I don't know, man. I don't have an answer, but what that means is that I can become that wise old elder brother, uncle, whatever, that you could go to and lean on and ask whatever challenges and questions and thoughts that you have about things. So broadly, these are the 4 5 overarching buckets. I don't know how do you build the bucket so that people come in. Like, okay, I'll give examples of each of these buckets also. So like, for example, this bhaiya that people approach for all the advice about life could be Sandeep Maheshwari. Not that I want to be him, but that is an example. That's an archetype that you get. Guinea pig could be a Tim Ferriss kind of a person, wherein he's talking to people about experiences and things that they do. Lately, there are a lot more podcasters who have started to come in. Then in terms of aspiring polymath, if Leo da Vinci was around, probably he would be the one who I'd like to be. Obviously, tough to get to that level of badness that Leo had. So these are the reference examples that I could stand for and I could work on. Now, which of these work for me, which of these add up for me, I don't have a lot of ideas or thoughts, but this is where the entire uh, spiel could be at. So that's where I want my brand to start or end at. And then once we figure what that brand is, then everything else just follows from there on. For example, if I'm the eternal optimist, I can talk about 15 things, but I can talk about optimism in most of those things. So multiple layers will start to come from there on. But broadly, that's where my thought or my brand um, is, and I want you to sort of, whoever is listening to this podcast or conversation, I want you to tell me that what would I stand for? What is the place where I could add the most value to your life? Do you want to come to me for money? Do you want to come to me for advice? Do you want to come to me for for connections? What is it that you want from me? And I'm happy to sort of tweak my content and tweak my conversation and tweak my narrative to support what you want to do. And what I will do is obviously with each iteration I will probably get feedback and probably get inputs from people, and I would want to find a way to uh, 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 yeah, I'm digressing, but that's where I want the brand to end. While I spoke about how I want to build my brand and what I want to stand for and what are the two outcomes I want for myself and for the world, what I also want to talk about is in the past, who all have come to me and what have they come to me and what has my um ability to support them has been. So probably this will give some sort of a clarity to people. So in the past, people have come to me for number one thing is connections. I'm typically the man who knows a man. So a lot of people come to me and say, hey, do you know somebody at this company? Hey, do you know somebody at this role in this startup? Hey, do you know somebody who can code a website for me? So I am a people connector at best. And I really like doing that. And what that means is that I have a fairly large phone book. As of today, I have 14,000 connections on my phone book, not on LinkedIn. LinkedIn में भी 14,000 हैं, but phone book में भी 14,000 connections है मेरे पास. So what that means is that if you want to like a thought experiment that I often do with people is how many degrees of separation are you away from a Donald Trump or a Elon Musk? And in my case, the answer is two. And would their answer two or three? I did that experiment last time with somebody when I was talking to her on the podcast. But दो या तीन होगा तुम्हारा कितना दूर है and that is one thing that I've been able to help people out a lot with. Second thing that I've been able to help people out with is helping me get clarity. तो मेरे को अपने ब्रांड की क्लैरिटी नहीं है बट आई एम लाइक अ टिपिकल डॉक्टर कि मैं अपना इलाज नहीं कर सकता बट बाकियों का इलाज बहुत कर सकता हूँ. सो लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव कम टू मी फॉर एडवाइस इन पुट्स एंड ब्रांड्स and I have often been able to support them and help them with everything that they have sort of asked me for. So that has worked out well in my favor. The third thing that I've done well for people is that when they have a business problem to solve, not from a marketing lens, I've been able to give them a very sharp solution. कि ये चीज को ऐसे करो, ये करोगे तो ऐसे निकलेगा और ये करोगे तो आउटकम ऐसे आएंगे. So that has worked very well in my favor as well. And these are the three things that I have been very successful at. Then obviously I've been good with giving general purpose gyan, which allows people to learn more, do more, etc., etc. So that has worked out well as well in my case. Now I also talk about things that I have not been good at. What I have not been good at is the following. So when people have come to me and asked me for money, I have not been a good person like that. Not that the intent to help and intent to support is not there, but the ability is not there. Like I don't really have X money in my bank to be able to give out money. Well, I've obviously done tons of micro grants and of stipends and all of that. But if somebody's come to me for like 5 lakh and above, I've not been able to support them. Intent is also not to become a money giving person. If I had the money, I would give it. I would probably do it through a structured vehicle, the way the Kamats are doing with WTF fund and other things. I will probably do that. I've not also been able to uh, uh, to give other people the confidence कि मेरे बाद जो इंसान आएगा वो काम कर देगा. Like for example, today I run a company called Meru Life with a couple of co-founders, and prior to this I used to run a communications collective called C4E. Now in both the cases, in both the places, I've not been able to give confidence कि सौरभ खड़ा है तो काम हो रहा है, but सौरभ नहीं है तो काम कैसे होगा. At Meru, probably it is little better because there is a structured conversation, structured team, and very experienced team there. So on C4, the team has been handpicked by me, and they've been groomed by me. And what that means is that they are extremely intent-wise high, but they're high on capability-wise also. But they clearly lack the experience of having done large conversations. So that's something that I'm yet to see from C4E. And anyways, I spend limited time there, so I'm not sure how that will pan out. So broadly, that's where ability to help and ability to not help has been. And like I said, I'm happy to respond to any questions that people who see this podcast throw at me so that I can respond to those and probably help get clarification. क्योंकि जितने लोग सवाल पूछेंगे ना उतना बढ़िया होगा. Like when somebody asked me that question on Twitter, like Twitter friend asked me yesterday, कि what do you stand for? I don't have an answer, and to be honest, I've been thinking about it last 2 nights कि यार मैं क्यों हूँ और क्या करना चाहता हूँ. I still don't have an answer, but at least I have this clarity कि broadly मेरे को ये 3 buckets में काम करना है. Broadly मुझे इन 2 लोगों से बात करनी है. तो ये मेरा thought है. So that's where I'm at.
You said that you are a man who knows a man.
Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
how have you become that? मतलब अगर मुझे 5 साल बाद बोलना है कि मेरे फोन बुक में 10,000 कॉन्टेक्ट्स है, how do I become that? A girl, a woman who
There is
knows
a
a woman.
So to be able to become super connector, you need to first have the niyat of becoming a super connector. मतलब लगता है बोलने में कि बहुत बढ़िया होता है, बट वो करने का जो एफर्ट होता है ना वो बहुत सारा होता है. इट्स अ क्लासिक केस ऑफ बॉडी बिल्डिंग कि तुम बोलते हो कि मेरे को 6 पैक ऐप चाहिए बट उसके लिए जो हार्डवर्क चाहिए होता है तुम वो नहीं करते हो. दैट हार्डवर्क हैज टू बी डन. आई गिव एन एग्जांपल. हाँ, so my people are at Bangalore and I've invested a lot of money to ensure that they go to Bangalore to meet people and build connections. Now, will they win a hackathon? Probably not. Will they build something large? Probably not. But what would they do is that find people who are interesting enough who are building for tomorrow. That is example one. Exhibit B is that I used to run this cohort called SOG, wherein I would find super bright people from various places, get them to know each other, and then have them spend time with each other. And then I would automatically know people. Like there was a time when I had young people from top 5B schools, apart from the IIMs, to be honest, in my network on my WhatsApp, and that allowed me to reach out to them whenever I wanted to for whatever help I needed, and so on and so forth. So what it did was it allowed me to become a little more connected. So it is a deliberate effort that you have to put in to build connections. It deliberate attempt to build communities wherein you are in the middle of the community and there are people around you who want to grow and scale and build and talk to each other, and then nurture them. Like for example, anybody who comes to Bombay, they have an open invitation that if it's a woman, they can stay at the house of Chandni and Anshika. If it's a man, they can stay with me. So we invite people with open arms to live with us, spend time with us. And what happens is that the translation of online connection to offline happens very, very seamlessly. So that is something that we been doing it deliberately for like 5-7 years now. That has allowed me to become this super aware person of in the world.